Ryan Tannehill, Paul, among those on the COVID-19 reserve list, and John Robinson announced that to the media earlier this morning.
Yeah, one of the hottest days, not just this camp, but in recent memory, Hut. The assistant offensive coaches were available before practice, as was previously scheduled. And afterwards, we were told that John Robinson would be at the podium. We were expecting an update on Mike Vrabel. Robinson started off with 3 roster additions and then told us the corresponding moves and buried the lead. Told us that Jeff Swaim, Justin March, Lillard, and Ryan Tannehill were on the COVID-19 reserve list. These guys, we don't know. We do know that Tannehill is vaccinated. He told us about that at the beginning of camp, that he was a reluctant vaccinee, if that's the right word, but that he got the vaccination because he couldn't see sacrificing the things he would have had to sacrifice based on the protocols if he wasn't vaccinated. I found that to be good leadership because he couldn't sacrifice eating with guys in the cafeteria, being close to them in meetings and the like. And so, like Vrabel himself, who will talk to us via Zoom at 1:30, Tannehill has to get 2 negative tests in the span of 48 hours in order to be allowed back in. This sounds bad. It is bad to a degree, but it's the timing isn't bad, right? He's probably not playing in this game on Saturday night. But to get this over with, the thing is, Julio Jones, we saw come back a little bit yesterday. He didn't do anything today except run. But they're finally at a place where maybe these two could meet on the field and do some things. And it's Logan Woodside and Matt Barkley throwing the passes today, though A.J. Brown and Julio Jones weren't out there. But as soon as both of them can be available, you want both of them to be available and out there. And the Titans now have 7 guys on the COVID reserve list dealing with this at some level. Reports are that the Titans are testing more guys more frequently now than the vaccinated every 2 weeks testing. And again, this is because some guys aren't vaccinated, and so you're worried about the vaccinated guys having it asymptomatically and passing it to the unvaccinated guys, though John Robinson says they're at 97 or 98% between guys who are vaccinated or who have antibodies from having had COVID.
Well, can we clarify that? If you have antibodies, are you technically vaccinated under the NFL protocol?
I do not know about it. That's a great question, what it qualifies as under the NFL protocol. I do know under the NFL protocol, if you have had COVID, there is a period of time. This isn't just under the NFL protocol. I think this is under medicine. You're advised not to get the vaccine for a period of time. It may be 6 months, if I'm remembering correctly. I know someone who had it, wanted to be vaccinated, and was advised to wait for whatever period of time. So what you have left over from having COVID inoculates you, at least to a degree, for a period of time, after which doctors then advise you to get vaccinated. And that may have been a Titans person.
Well, and I should also point out that right before camp started across the league, they sent out a memo that said if you're a player who had COVID-19 previously, it didn't give the timetable here. I think it was even going back to last year. If you only received 1 shot of a 2-dose of the double vax, if you only received the first shot, you're considered. No, they were talking Moderna or Pfizer. If you only received the first shot, you were considered fully vaccinated if you had COVID-19 in the past. I'm curious how all these rules mesh together now for the Titans whenever Robinson mentions the 97%, because he's clearly factoring in the antibodies in players, not just those who are fully vaxxed at this point. And that will affect them going into roster cutdown day and everything else that's on the horizon.
Robinson did address the idea of bringing people in and how vaccinated, unvaccinated would affect him bringing people in. And he said the obvious thing, it all depends on the urgency of getting someone. If we need somebody right now, obviously we can't endure the wait for somebody to go through an extensive protocol. We're going to need somebody that can help us right now. If it's a matter of seeing an attractive person out there that we want to add to our roster, and we have time, then it's less of a factor. Adding somebody who may not be vaccinated and going through the protocols that might make us wait. And I think anybody in the league would be operating in a similar fashion. If you're a guy shopping for a job in the NFL and you're unvaccinated, you're shooting yourself in the foot, taking away opportunities for yourself.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time Outkick 360 goes live. We are live weekdays, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here across the Outkick network. And while you're at it, like this video and let us know what you think in the comments below.